So I wanted to talk a bit about the video I watched today, the 2-hour discussion video on Pradeep's channel. Um, First about the Devin and Levon match drama, and second about strict rules and rule changes and stuff like that. Basically, does arm wrestling need a rule change? And yeah, I think those things. Yeah, those are the two topics. So first of all, I learned a few things, and according to Roman, who's SG Records on YouTube, he's really active, made a lot of or makes a lot of cool like arm wrestling edits and stuff. But he's a Georgian, and he like talked to Levon apparently. So first thing is that Levon, I think, was told by the promoters that the rules will be decided later, and there wasn't an understanding from his side that the rules will be exactly the same as the first two events. And yes, he knew that the rules for the first two events were auto strap. Even though King of the Table won, I don't think it was really implemented. I don't remember if it was. And yeah, I don't even honestly remember it being implemented at all, but I'm sure whatever. But it was still, everyone knew that those are the rules at the time. And that's a fact. And I there's a clip going around of Levon saying, he actually doesn't mind the auto strap, because it's more about power, and then he doesn't have to waste energy, stuff like that. But so we can sort of put that aside. And I guess the more important question was, or is, was Levon, did Levon think that the rules would be exactly the same as King of the Table 1 and 2? And is that reasonable to think that? And I think it is. And I do think that he thought the rules weren't necessarily going to be the same as 1 and 2. But I also think that he actually isn't that invested in the rule system. I think there's a perception around, Europeans, or not even Europeans, but just generally, that auto strap is a bit of a weird rule, and I agree with that. And there's a perception that, WAL is more for entertainment, which is true. And, you've all seen those comments about, clown circus, whatever, league, and blah, blah, blah. So I get, there's, a just opposition to, those types of rules by default, right? So even I do think that a lot of people are just what is, just sort of, think that is weird. And so that plays a factor. But I don't think really that, Levon is scared or anything. I think the real issue is, I can see both sides as well, because from Devin's perspective, I think it makes sense to assume that the rules will be the same, and all of us assume the same thing pretty much, that King of the Table events will follow King of the Table rules, and King of the Table rules are auto strap. That was, I think everyone understood that. But what I guess Levon didn't, or maybe that wasn't how the contract was given to them, or maybe that's not how things are done. In terms of how things are done, I don't actually know how things are done. This is just my assumption. But also, since arm wrestling is such a small sport, these things are just people just literally just make the shit up. They're oh, whatever rules, and it happens. And Devin will say, that's unacceptable, and I would never do that. But King of the Table 1, we saw that it was a new league, so that's fine. But they were literally discussing the rules with the athletes, and even if they had done a lot of work beforehand, you had YouTube videos where the rules were not decided, and you were oh, we should add this, and I like this, we should add this, and we all saw the video. So to an extent, we all know that the rules, and for example, when the same sort of drama was going on about Devin and John Brzenk, Devin kept saying arm bet and the bets and all the rules have already been set. But I'm telling you, I bet some money on some matches on arm bet, Stake Kings, and I followed some matches when it first came out because I thought it was interesting. The rules were changed a lot of times after money was being put in. Um, like for one example, Chanshaw four-way, Chanshaw with Mike Aiello, Don Underwood, Jordan So. That was pretty big. Like people were talking about it all the time. And you'll remember, no one could figure out the format of it until like a day before, and I think the day of the event, some of the athletes were still confused, and there was money being bet on that. Um, and I mean, like, I think other people brought up other examples as well, but and I remember betting money on like athletes. The match changes to shutout, and they don't refund the money, and it just stayed. And actually, I won money that way because I bet on John Brzenk versus Paul Lynn, and the match changed to shutout stakes, and I still had my money on John, and I was like, oh shit, and I emailed them. I was like, what's going on? Um, and I don't know. I think they gave like a response or whatever, but my money was still there. They didn't refund it, and I won. So no complaints. But I'm just pointing out some examples of where like arm wrestling doesn't work like that. Like arm wrestling isn't very professional, and like you can make the like argument that whatever like it should be, and it need like, well, one thing is for sure, it needed to be communicated well with the athletes, um, and they probably should have decided a rule set before starting the contract. But I'm just saying from Levant's perspective, or at least like what they're saying is that he didn't really see that it needed to follow the same rule set and it needed to be auto strap. But whatever, I think the main problem here, I guess for me, what I'm getting at, whether or not Levant is right or whatever, like I think he does believe what he's saying, and maybe he's like lying to himself or whatever. But whatever, I guess what I'm saying is Levant actually probably is more mad about all the Facebook messages and Instagram DMs he's getting from Devin fans, and I know that happens. And I like Devin, I really like Devin, but Devin fans are fucking annoying on the internet. And the fact that Devin called him a liar and all this, so I think he's really pissed about that, which is great. Like, I think that's going to make the match a lot better. Because Levant is, first of all, Levant's not stupid. Levant's smart. And just watching his reaction videos, and first of all, the guy is, like, a veteran of the sport, isn't he? Like, he was, like, in the WAF system for years and became world champion, and like has way more experience than probably most of the people that are commenting on his technique or watching his matches, right? So I think we need to give him that respect. Even though he's a big, brutish looking person, has very good technique. Like you can see that and all of that, obviously. But also he's not someone that's mentally like weak or backs down either. He's super intense, and I think with how pissed he is, I think he will. Like, I'm already hearing that he's saying he's going to be in his best shape ever, so I think it can lead to a really, really, really fun and entertaining match. So I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I think it's great that there's drama, and yeah, like I think we're going to see a really scary version of Levant, and I think he will make things really interesting. Like he's like, one thing it's not going to be. Well, it depends on how strong Devin is, because I have faith in Devin that he'll show up very, very strong, but I can't confidently say that Devin will stop the match or Devin will do this. I know a lot of people do, but like I hope he does, but I can't confidently say that. All I can confidently say is that Devin will be super, super, super strong. But what I'm saying is like it won't be a match where Levant is just like, like stone faced and just pushes side pressure to the side. There's going to be so much emotion and action, and and if Devin comes with a lot of desperation as well, assuming he's outmatched in terms of his fundamentals, and Levant's not just going to be sit there like a tool, and like he'll like fight back, he'll adjust, and I think it's going to be really fun. Hopefully it'll be like an actual match, because so far we haven't like Vitaly stopped him in the center for like 10 seconds before getting top rolled and losing 6-0, and still that's the most exciting the Levant matches have been. So anyways, I think it's building up to be a great match, hopefully, and I just wanted to just play some defense for Levant, because obviously He gets a lot of shit, and some of the, like, I don't know, like, just people. I think, I mean, it makes sense, but like American, like, fans, I think, are don't give enough credit to the European pullers as well, even though I guess, like, it goes both ways, right? But um, anyway, so that was it for my thought about the Devin and Levon drama. What else? So the rule system, they're arguing about the rule system, and I think, like, again, I basically agree with Roman, SG Records, and I think Ryan Bowen was sort of trying to argue against it. Ended up sounding kind of dumb. Like, I mean, I really like Ryan Bowen, actually, like, and I think he's actually really smart as well. But like, if you're talking on the internet for hours and hours and hours, you're gonna end up sounding kind of dumb, and who cares? It's a stupid arm wrestling rule discussion. But he was basically just saying, like, I really don't see a good defense for the auto strap rule, because the time saving argument I don't think really makes sense. Um, what I don't understand is, like, okay, so there's, like, the conflict between, should athletes listen to the rules, or should the rules be relaxed because it's so strict that the athletes can't possibly listen to it. I mean, that's a valid, like, I think both sides are valid, right? So you have to find a balance, and I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for athletes to remain, like, still or something in the set grip. I think the thing with the Matt and Tim Bresnan match was, what the fuck was that start? And he just closes the hands, waits, takes a breath, ready, go. Like, I think that's stupid. Like, you need to close the hands and then immediately, like, not maybe right after, but, like, you need to set the hands, and then I think you just need to say go. Right? So the whole thing, first of all, ready, go is stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense. Go makes sense, and it should be soon after they close the hands. So I don't agree with that at all. And, like, those issues, but what I'm saying is those issues aren't related to auto strap. I think those, if that's the rule, that should be changed. But when it comes to, like, time saving, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask athletes to follow along with, like, a decently strict set grip or referee's grip. I don't really know the difference. The way I understand it is, two arm wrestlers come up to a table. They have a certain amount of time to grip up between themselves. If it doesn't work out, the referees will put you in a grip, and then if you move there, you will be fouled. That makes sense, right? And so if there's 30 seconds normal grip, referees grip, say, 45 seconds or something like that, hopefully less. And, I don't agree with, like, fouling on micro movements during the set grip. I don't agree with calling micro elbow fouls. But if you're moving in the referee's grip, you need to be fouled. And I don't think that's so hard to follow. Like, and if it does happen, like, you need to learn how to not do that. Because I've seen plenty of matches, like, do fine, like, elite pullers, and like, some people will make the argument that, oh, what if the other guy's taking something? All I can say is, elite pullers, a lot of them don't have a problem. They don't have that problem. So clearly, if you're making an argument that it can never work, it can work, because it does work right now. So that's all I have to say about that. Like, and just, I don't know, just, like, follow the rules. Like, of course, micro adjustments will be made, but I don't know how they do it, but I've seen elite pullers do it well. So you just basically have to do what they do. So if that's the case, and you don't disrespect the set grip and keep moving in and out of it, which is how, like, a 5-minute setup can actually happen, then no match can take more than 75 seconds to start, based on the 30-second, 45-second. Okay, I don't really know how much the time is in actual tournaments. Say it's 30 seconds in a minute. But what I'm saying is that if those rules are followed, the matches are guaranteed to start within a certain time. So the whole argument that you need to, like, cut down the time, I don't know. Like, it just sounds like you just need to be able to follow the referee grip or whatever. Like, I mean, that's just sort of how I see it. But other stuff, like, all slips go to straps, I absolutely think that's that's right, because I mean it's like really based on this like weird like abstract concept that like you should be arm wrestling this way, and the more you deviate from it, the more you'll be fouled. And like it's a weird rule. Like I get that it makes sense if you think of it as like, oh, you should have been arm wrestling the traditional way, but you know, like we can move past that, right? And if your only option is to lose or to slip, like it's not like you're slipping, it's that you're competing. So if that's saying you're basically telling people, like, because the fouls incentivize certain things, right? You're basically telling people to pin themselves if they can't arm wrestle the traditional way, which I think that I don't agree with that at all. So I mean, it's just Armmore's rules, right? And I don't know. I think that's what it comes down to. I don't know. I just think a lot of this discussion and drama is a little bit like pointless or whatever. Like I don't know, just a little bit whiny. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope I didn't really need to say anything about the workouts, just blood flow stuff and just doing lots of reps with bands. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys.